This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. Trump Media and Technology Group, publicly traded, has a new auditor. Auditor number 4 for Donald Trump, because the last one was found to run a sham audit mill and got banned from ever doing public auditing for publicly traded companies. The new company, come on down, Semple, Marshall & Cooper out of Arizona. Never heard of them? The next biggest client after the Trump Media Group, which is worth billions of dollars, is a waste management company out of Texas that's approximately a $200 million company, or 30 times smaller than this now giant client that they just got. After that, their next biggest client is a $13 million software company. $13 million software company. $214 million waste company, $6 billion Trump company. What could go wrong with a company that is probably outmatched resource-wise by the requirements of this publicly traded company? Look, I'm all about mom and pop shops getting and landing big clients. That's the American dream. But does Semple, Marshall & Cooper, who is affiliated somehow with the BDO Seidman accounting organization. I think they use their software, basically. They don't have the access to those people. You have to put dozens and dozens of people and commit them to an audit like Trump, right? You can't just have, it's not like one person bean counting mom and pop, okay? You need a lot of bandwidth, a lot of personnel. I've worked in public companies before. I know the requirements. This is going to be at least a 6 to 8 person job. The question is, does this company in Arizona have 6 to 8 people to devote to it? Plus, look what they're stepping into, right? The last 3 Trump Media Technology Group auditors have flamed out or fired Donald Trump. They either fired him because they were like, we're out. And then when he finally found one, it was a fraudulent audit mill that got fined $14 million by the SEC and is now banned for life from ever doing public audit. Now, sure, the Trump Media Group wasn't the only victim of B.A. Borgers, the company that's now banned by the SEC. There were 500 other public companies that also now have to go find a new auditor. But what does that tell you? If you're judging Donald Trump's ability to retake the presidency and you're watching how he operates his businesses, what does the fact that nobody wants to be an auditor for him, his outside accountants for 20 years fired the Trump organization before the Attorney General lawsuit for the civil fraud happened. So Mazars quits and fires noisily the client. Then 2 other auditing firms do the same. Then Donald Trump hires a fraudulent audit mill to be his auditor. What does that tell you about the judgment or the business judgment, of Donald Trump? I'm still amazed that in the national polling, which I don't think is accurate at all, that somehow he pulls in neck and neck to the current president in terms of competency. I haven't seen a business operation of Donald Trump's in the last 30 years that hasn't gone bankrupt, been adjudged to be a persistent fraud operation, conducted conspiracies, convicted of tax fraud, and hiring auditors who themselves commit fraud to be banned and barred from ever doing SEC work again. What part of that resume, bankruptcies, judging fraud, the auditors firing Donald Trump on a regular basis, 17-count felony conviction for tax evasion for 2 of his major subsidiaries. Which part of this do people who are thinking about voting for him think is a badge of honor and part of his body of work that they're willing to put back into the White House? Explain that to me. It's mind-boggling. If I stripped the name Donald Trump off of what I just said, and I went to the average voter on the street, I don't care if he's wearing a red hat or not, and I said, can I give you a description of the one of the candidates that's running for the presidency and see if you would vote for this person? They go, okay, what is it? Okay, every company he's ever run has gone bankrupt. or including 4 bankruptcy filings, including a casino that went bankrupt. I mean, he's the only person in the world that found a way to lose money and go bankrupt running a casino. 4 bankruptcies. I'll keep going. The voter would be like, oh, okay. The companies that didn't go bankrupt, his main companies that he inherited from his father, they have been found to be persistently operating a fraudulent business for the last 10 years and got fined $500 million in disgorgement. Are you still listening? Are you done? No, I'm not. Another one of his 2 main subsidiaries got convicted criminally, 17-count tax evasion, business record fraud. Yeah. And the leader of the company has 91 felony charges against him in 4 different states. Are you done? No. And his outside long-term auditors fired him and said that nothing that they did in the last 10 years could be trusted because of fraud and misinformation given to them by the candidate. Okay, what else you got? And he went public with a company, then that should be shocking. And in going public, he hired an auditing firm that itself committed fraud and is banned from ever doing public auditing again. Can I count on your vote? I mean, seriously, it's just mind-boggling to me. It's very hard, as you can see, for me to keep a straight face through this hot take. The reporting, the takeaway, I don't know. How long, we should have a pool, like a dead pool. How long will Semple, Marshall, and Cooper, what's the over-under, on them staying as auditors? This outmatched, under-resourced accounting firm nobody ever heard of in Arizona, whose next biggest client is 30 times smaller than Donald Trump's company. And the next client after that is another 30 times smaller. This is what he's left with. Does that tell you anything? Not one of the, there's tiers of accounting firms, just like there's tiers of law firms. Not one of the top 1, 2, or 3 tiers of accounting firms in this country who do public work like this want to be associated with Donald Trump's group and the Trump media group at all. So what are we going to do? We're going to have the SEC, as long as it's headed by people appointed by Joe Biden, continue to be watchdogs and watch over this public company and to protect the average investor, the mom and pop investor who's sinking their money into basically buying shares, a timeshare on the Titanic. This is a timeshare on the Titanic being pumped and dumped by Donald Trump and people around him in his political orbit in order to give him a lifeline of billions of dollars he didn't earn, he doesn't deserve, and the company can't support. That's what's happening. And when he finally, now that he got even more founder shares, starts selling, watch the stock drop, because those 5 or 6 million people that are on his social media platform don't have the money or the wherewithal to beat out the short sellers. Now, I know right now there's a short squeeze going on, and there's an attempt at strangling the shorters. And right now, it's very hard to go short on the stock because its pricing is so high. But it will, the SEC will keep an eye on the trading and the manipulations and things that happen to protect the average investor, even from themselves. And we'll report on it at the intersection of law and politics right here on MeidasTouch and on Legal AF. Do you like this kind of analysis? Come join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on this YouTube channel, where we curate the top 4 or 5 developments at the intersection of law and politics, and we bring it to you. Wednesday, I'm joined by Karen Friedman-Agnifilo. Saturday, by my co-founder of Legal AF, Ben Meiselas. And then we do hot takes like this one, the leaders of it, Legal AF, I don't know, about every hour right here on the MeidasTouch Network. You like what I'm doing? I'm Michael Popok. Slide over to playlists and contributors. Look for my name. You'll find my entire body of work. I don't know, over 1,000 hot takes just like this one. And then if you like the law, part of the law and politics intersection, we do a more deep dive for non-lawyers, and some lawyers there too, but mainly for non-lawyers who just want to learn more about the law. federal versus state, civil versus criminal, class actions, arbitrations, mediations, things you might have heard of or seen on television or in the news. We explain it and break it down like this. We paint in primary colors so that you, in an entertaining way, can learn more about the law. We do it on Patreon, patreon.com/legalaf. And until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, until my next Patreon exclusive video, this is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.